This
Sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Urban Rush. I'm welcoming you back to the show because I can't say what I need to say.
The album is called Two Steel Strings, you wascally rabbit. And Shaun Verreault is joining us now to tell us about his adventure on a train. How are you, Shaun?
All right, Shaun.
I'm excellent.
I'm really enjoying the letter W today for some reason.
It's working.
Two steel strings.
You can point at me and I'll say it whenever. I'll fill the blank in for you. The two steel strings.
Thank you.
Okay,
Tell us about this.
yes.
This is a great idea. How did this all come about?
Well, Widemouth Mason had done CP's Holiday Train food bank food awareness and funds drive for a couple of years in a row. And when we did it in 2006, I spent the entire time taking photos off the back where the caboose would have been, because you're seeing the country from this vantage point that you can't see anywhere else. It's not a passenger line anymore. And I learned, you know, I was reading The Last Spike as we went through it, so I was learning a lot about Canadian history.
Nice.
And then as we were going through Saskatchewan with my Métis heritage, I started thinking this would be a really interesting setting to make a record in. Because not only does the train sound great as it's going over the tracks, the car that I was sleeping in was from 1916, and it was all extinct mahogany, all cracked like the top of a vintage guitar. And
Just
it
stuff you
sounded
don't see
amazing.
anymore, yeah.
You don't see it, and no, you can't buy a ticket to be in the car that I was in for 3 weeks. So I started thinking, I've got to make a record, and I had made some friends at CP the year before and pitched the idea to them, and they made it possible for me to record in the locomotive.
Okay,
This
but
doesn't look like the easiest thing to do,
No, with
in
all the
honesty.
noise you're describing, of course, if you could control the creaks and the squeaks and the engine, maybe that would be great. But how did you record around it on the train? Did you just incorporate it into the song?
Yeah, the beauty of, and the thing that made me figure I could do it was practicing in my condo downtown Vancouver, because when a jackhammer or the backup alarm on a truck would go off, more often than not it was in tune and in time. So I thought serendipity is musical sometimes, and every single time the train made a sound, it went with the song I was playing, because the rails are made of identical lengths of track. So just like a guitar string, as you go over top of it, not only does it have a rhythm, but it resonates in the same pitch. So depending on what speed you're going, the entire train will be in C or E or something.
So do you look at a map and go, okay, cool bridge right there. We'll
Yeah,
see if
that'll
we can
sound
hit
good.
that as we go.
I wanted to just kind of throw it out and just play the song I was going to play, and if it chose to participate, then it would. And in the clip you were showing, no one would talk on the radio during the verse, and then during the musical part, the radio would start talking in the same rhythm. The whistle would start going off in pitch. There's a couple times where we went around a corner and the train would just start going like a vocal part that was meant to be there. It was really cool.
Dude, I'll have what you're having.
Yeah, it's insane.
Now, how about the topic matter of the songs? Had you written before you got on the train? Did you know what you were going to write about, or how did it work?
It was kind of half and half. I knew I didn't want them all to be train songs, but I knew that I wanted some to have the rhythm of the train, because it was so influential on 20th century music, you know? The blues guys from the 1920s playing that stuff, the guitar players were trying to sound like a train. And that rhythm became the blues shuffle and the country shuffle.
Go all through these things.
Exactly,
right,
and vocals too, right? They were trying to sound like the whistles. So there was that connection to it, but also it was how all those, Canada's earliest singer-songwriters on the On to Ottawa trek or the Riel Rebellion, riding the train, maybe illegally in the boxcar or legally on their way to somewhere, writing the first folk songs.
Shaun, are you telling me that you've made Canadian history interesting?
Well, maybe it depends.
Whoa.
Some of it is, I've definitely made Canadian history because no one's ever been able to record on a train before. And I had access to like the boxcar, the dining car, the sleeper car. I did some of it in a 100-year-old church next to the tracks in Notch Hill.
Who was traveling on this train with you? It wasn't purpose for you, was it?
No, it was all the Holiday Train. But since I had made friends with CP people, and the producer of the Holiday Train, Randall Prescott, who's a Grammy Award-winning producer, we'd hatch these ideas at night, and the next day it would be like, okay, so we want you to go on the stairs at the front of the train where the cow catcher is as we go over a bridge in Rogers Pass.
Cow catcher. Such a nice name for such a...
What's a cow catcher?
Well, there's a brutal...
knock 'em off.
Cows aren't that smart, and they quite often will get on the track in front of the train. In fact, there was a really grisly scene in Saskatchewan that we went over the first year where I was seeing these little blobs of reddish meat for about 2 or 3 kilometers, and they said about 100 cows got on the track, and even the sight of cow carnage for the 100 meters as they were waiting for the train to hit them didn't clue them in that maybe we should move. So
and there is a certain staccato rhythm to the train.
I should have got that.
You're going to play the title track from Two Steel Strings. See, I said it.
Nice.
But we want to talk a little bit about Widemouth Mason. What's going on with you guys? The band is still together.
We've not broken up. My quip is that we're no longer musically monogamous, which I think is healthy after 13 years.
So it's an open relationship.
It's an open relationship. We're about halfway through our next record.
Very nice.
But I have 2 Steel Strings coming out soon, and another electric solo record. Earl, the bass player in the band, has a side project called Mo Badass, and their record's almost finished.
Nice.
And yeah, we have about 5 or 6 more songs to do on the Widemouth one, and it'll come out. So I'm just spreading myself thin and attaining thickness. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well said.
So much smarter than us, eh?
Yeah, he's way. I don't know what he was talking about, but if you want to
2 Steel Strings! Nice! 2 Steel Strings!
The CD release party is tomorrow night at the Railway Club. You can go to ShaunVerreault.com to find out more information. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you, Shaun.
After the break,
Steel Strings.
you're going to hear the tune called
2 Steel Strings.
right after this. Don't go away. Thank you. That sounds cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're going to see if Mikey can say it.
Okay, he is playing the title track, 2 Steel Strings, off the album 2 Steel Strings. Here's Shaun Verreault.
Heading west on rock and steel. 7 lives to tell you how I feel. Heading west on rock and steel. Riding rail boy up in the air. Riding rails boy up in the air. Lose that line and you won't be anywhere. Riding rails boy up in the air. Caught a catch in a rail to ride, but I'll never see the walls from the other side. Got a caught a catch in a rail to ride, but I'll never see the walls from the other side. Eyes are soaking, hang 'em on the line. Your eyes are soaking, you better hang 'em on the line. Dry your eyes in the gold sunshine. Dry your eyes, baby, dry your eyes. Working whiskey gon' get me so. Working whiskey, and when I'm done, 2 steel strings gonna sing me home. 2 steel strings gonna sing me home. All right. Hold it steady, boy, way up high. One way home and a million ways to die. Hold it steady, boy, way up high. If you get there, baby, before I do. If you get there, baby, before I do. Bet you after life I'm coming after you. Bet you after life I'm coming after you. Bet you after life I'm coming after you. Caught a catch in a rail to ride, but I'll never see the walls from the other side. Got a caught a catch in a rail to ride, but I'll never see the walls from the other side.